Hey, welcome back to the table. Let's start the next turn. So we're moving to May, June, and them taking Hawaii like they did. Well, they didn't take it, but they, took the objective. Cut off our supply. And because they have Wake Island and Marshall Islands, we couldn't do an alternate supply path to our troops. So I knew that holding Hawaii was important and crucial. I just still didn't have enough to do it. So our imperative choice is to take Hawaii. Absolutely. The other thing is we go to the production step. And here, I know it's a little off camera, but we're now only delayed one production line each turn. So I'm going to delay the battleship here and let these two come down. I'm going to delay one of these infantry and the other one comes available. And I'm going to delay one plane, one of our bombers, and then these three are going to come down. So we now have an infantry and 3 planes all available. And they're, of course, going to go in the west coast here. And none too soon, because we're probably going to need all of them for Hawaii to help us take Hawaii back. And whatever other future objectives, because we're in trouble. They just took the Gilbert Islands as well. I would love to try to sink their fleets, but I don't know if I'm going to have any extra bonus points. So our supply points, if you'll trust me off camera, it's 21 points is what we get. It did go up by 1 point this time. So here we are, we have 21 points. And what do we want to do? Well, one of the things that was my priority is I really wanted to get rid of the production delays and get to here where we at least have no delays at all. So whatever I purchase is always going to be advancing. But I think our first priority is we got to repair everything that's damaged. So this one's going to cost 1. This one's going to, well, that one we lost. That's even worse. So even if we take Hawaii, they now have us cut off in supply again. So cost 1, this is going to be 1, that's 2, and then 3, 4. And I forgot to check the Australian one. I think because they're Australian, they get supplied from Australia. Let me find out. So we're up to 4. The Australians take damage too. So that's 6 supply points I lost repairing everything back up. That's a huge number of supply points, folks. I mean, that's a whole carrier. So not happy about that. And with that said, I am going to build a carrier. So I'm going to build my last carrier for 5. So I just flip that over. And we're going to get the Wasp going. Because I need more ships. There's no doubt about that. I need more of these. So I can build 2 infantry for 1 each. So I'm going to do that. That's 2 more. And then I have some planes there. I want to spend... I'll spend 2 for a MAG-23. So that's 4. So I'm going to spend 4. I have 6 left. So what I wanted to do was get this going, because then we don't have any more delays. Also, this one's really important too, because as you can see, the infantry is sort of bottlenecked at a cap of 3. I mean, I am getting most of them built, and we still have 3 more turns before this is over. I only have 2 more to build. So I think from a basic training perspective, we don't need to get that built until maybe 1943. From a ship perspective, we could even get more ships in the queue if we wanted. And it is possible to get some. Now, we have a capacity of 20, so I'm at 5, 10, 13, 16. So I can only build one of these battleships. That would put me at my capacity, and then the other two would have to wait. I could do that for 4. Or I can get more of my planes out. Actually, I'm going to get the battleship going for 4. So I'm going to do this and have 1 left. And then I'll put that to 2, right? So let's get one of these battleships out. These are really nice ones. The North Carolina, it costs 4, so it would go here. And since there's 1 delay, right, 4 of those ships are going to move. And that's what we want to do. We just basically want to overload the production queue. So even though we have to delay something, everything else gets produced. Okay, I have 2 points left. We're going to use this to do some scouting. So we will do that. We could use it for battle plans. I know some folks have mentioned that battle plans are powerful. I agree, but there's only so much to go around. And so we have to take Hawaii. It's imperative. We have to take this as well. And New Caledonia is not as important to take, even though this guy is damaged, and it probably would be easy. The bigger issue I have is I need ground forces to take these things, and what I can do is I can fly planes to places where I have ground forces, so those ground forces can move somewhere else. So I'm still holding the territory with a plane. It's not as ideal because the planes can be quite powerful, but that's my situation, is I'm just not producing enough ground forces. And remember, I can produce battalions. So even though I showed that I only have 2 Marines left, once I get my basic training built up, I can actually produce a whole bunch of battalions, which I think will be helpful. Okay, so how do we do this? First of all, we have 4 forces here. The 3 planes, for example, can all go to Hawaii and help bolster the Hawaiian situation. So that means that frees me up to send this infantry somewhere else. And that somewhere else is going to be the Gilbert Islands. It has to be. And so then the question is do I want to send somebody to New Caledonia? I can, but then I have to move my planes around to deal with that. Midway is very likely going to be a target for the same reasons we've talked about. I can send this infantry to New Caledonia, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So he's going to get on a transport and try to go to New Caledonia, and we're going to see if we can just take it as a straight up land infantry battle. I'm banking on the fact that their Navy is not going to support New Caledonia this turn. That could be a very poor choice, but you got to make your choices somewhere. And then the rest of my Navy is going to get divided between Hawaii and the Gilbert Islands. Okay, I do have 2 supply points, so I'm going to spend it for 2 scouts. And we have to do that first, actually. I started to move my troops around, but we're supposed to actually scout. I want to scout this carrier fleet first and foremost, and then this surface fleet would be the second one that we're going to scout. Now, what order do I want to do it? Yeah, we'll do the carrier fleet first. And remember, there's a 40% chance that they're going to go back. So let's see. I rolled a 3. They're holding, folks. They're holding. We got them. We got them. Okay, so this is going to move up by 4. But the carrier fleet's going to stay where it is. And so carrier fleet 3 is now vulnerable if I want to go after it. And then actually we want the surface fleet to go home now, because then Hawaii will be a little bit easier to take. So let's see if we can get that from them. I rolled a 6, and then we add 2, that's an 8. So they're going to withdraw. 1 closer to Japan. This is actually good or not good, depending on how you want to look at it. I think as a viewer, you're going to view this as good. So they're going to withdraw 1 closer to Japan, which is actually the Gilbert Islands. So they are both now here. So this is a mega battle, folks, right here. A surface fleet and a carrier fleet are together. And the surface fleet did move, so we have to grab a land force from Japan and add it to the surface fleet. And in fact, the surface fleet takes 3 forces. So 2 land forces are being added to their transport, and a battalion, because Japan doesn't have anybody left. So they are transporting 3 units now, and that's not going to be good. The carrier fleet doesn't get new units because it didn't move. So Hawaii is now easier to take. All we're up against is a bunch of battalions. So we have to get a lot of hits in, as you can see. So we still have to hit them with a lot of stuff, but it's not going to be... Actually, I'm afraid that we're not going to be able to do enough hits to destroy all this. So we're going to be out of supply again next turn. That's the part that hurts. But I don't see these guys being a threat against our planes. I mean, we're going to roll a lot of dice, and that's a lot of ones for them to roll. And somewhere in there, they probably will roll a 1 and hit our planes. But I do need to do something to go after that. So what I think I'm going to do, though, is we got to prepare for this huge battle here. This is big. So our carrier for sure is going there, and we have to send a destroyer to support the carrier. Absolutely. And then the submarine group is going here because there's carriers here. The cruisers now are an interesting one. I may keep them back to try to support the Hawaiian Islands, but for sure we're sending the submarines. And right now we have 3 cruisers here. I'm just setting them aside. There's 4. There's a 5th one. We're going to send another submarine, another destroyer, along with the Enterprise. And then here's a 5th cruiser, another destroyer we're going to send, and then another Lexington. So we have 3 carriers we're going to send with 3 destroyers and 3 submarines. So Carrier Fleet 3... just to take a quick look, is 4 carriers and a battleship. So I could send some more cruisers, but that battleship is going to stay back to support the carriers. It's not going to do a dang thing. Well, actually, the battleship's not going to support. They're also going to have 2 destroyers here because the Surface Fleet 1 is also there. So one of the destroyers is going to support the carriers. The battleship's going to support the ground, the land, and then the other destroyer is going to support their carriers. So their carriers are going to have 2 destroyers supporting them. The battleship's going to be up against the land. We're going to have 3 submarines, which are going to have to get past their destroyer screen, of course. We have our own destroyers, which they're going to help us with anti-air against their carriers. This is going to be the battle for the ages. So now, what do I want to do here? The Hawaii thing is super critical, but so is winning this battle. This is critical as well. I need ships that roll a 4 to hit these guys. I mean, look at how many I have. I have to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14... I have to do 18 hits to wipe all these guys out. What's the chances of me doing that? You know what? What's the chances of me doing that even if I kept all my cruisers there? So I'm going to use one of my battle plans that lets me do 2 hits. So let's say one of these hits. So I get to do 2 hits instead of 1. So I'm actually going to kill a battalion. I'm actually looking at this situation and thinking, I can't win the Hawaiian Islands, not without my carriers helping me. So, because I need those bombers to soften up those battalions. This is quite the dilemma, folks. I mean, do I really let these guys escape? Like, do I let these guys stay there and instead do something else? I may have to take Hawaii and let them go. And the reason I'm saying that is because if I control Hawaii and my carriers help me take back Hawaii, I can trace supply to here. And as long as I take this island here, I now have supply going everywhere. Otherwise, I'm going to lose 6 points again. Well, and then they may actually attack midway. That's the other problem I have. Oh my goodness, they might even attack midway. Well, I think from my perspective, I may have to be okay with them attacking Midway right now. I'm losing this game. I didn't think that was possible. I can give up the Gilbert Islands and basically decide that I have to go after that one next time. I had them pinned, folks. This was the ultimate battle right here. I was going to get them. It really was, but I'm not ready. With the Hawaiian Islands under threat, I have to bring everything back. So these guys are coming back. I am going to take this cruiser here with the 3, and I'm going to have them support the New Caledonia invasion. I think I'm still going to send my 3 submarines, though, after their carriers. Since I know they're going to be there, why not? Let's just try to attack them with submarines. This particular guy here, I'm going to have him land in Hawaii to help that situation out. And then Midway is an issue, too. So I'm thinking of possibly moving 1 carrier and 1 destroyer over to support Midway. So that way I know, because I know that they're going to come to Midway, so I might as well, you know, at least try to help defend it. But I think I can't. I have to take Hawaii. It's so imperative to take Hawaii right now. So I'm basically just going all in on Hawaii, and I have to let these guys go. And then with the submarines, that's going to be interesting because I'm going to at least be able to maybe pick off a few carriers. That would be nice. So we'll see. This might be a stupid move, but I think that's the best use of my submarines for sure. The submarines definitely aren't going to be able to help here. I have a little bit of anxiety. All right. So that's our move. I was tempted to move the planes from Midway over to help. I am still tempted to take the ones from New Guinea. We have 2 planes here from New Guinea that we could bring. And I am actually going to do that. I'm going to fly this plane from New Guinea to Hawaii. Okay. This one's going to go to Midway, a fighter plane. And then the bomber that's in Midway right now is going to move over. Because I don't need fighters in Hawaii. I just need bombers. So Midway is going to have 2 sets of fighters. So if they do come with a carrier group, we can at least, you know, dogfight their bombers. So then the last question is do I want to send a carrier or a cruiser over to help Midway? My answer is sort of no. If I do send a cruiser over and then a fleet comes, that cruiser could get picked off like what happened to us last time. Yeah, Midway's going to just have to hold. And if I lose it, I lose it. But see, what the dilemma that's going to create for me next turn is if Midway falls, Hawaiian Islands are now on the target again. And this is all I'm going to have next turn. I'm going to have 5 ships to retake Midway, and then Hawaii's going to be a target again. That's my concern. I'm going to have to live with it. So let's roll. Autobots, roll. So 1, 1. Oh, that's it. Okay, so who goes first? There's 2 here, there's 2 here. So we'll start with this one. Oh, when they did the withdrawal, this was going to go up by 1. All right. 4 plus 2 is 6. So they're refitting. So they would go back to Japan. I said we were starting with this one, so a battalion goes back to Japan. And then we have done and done. And a refit makes this go up by 2. Next one. 7 plus 2 is 9. They're going to withdraw. 1 closer to Japan. even is infantry. It's odd. So these guys are going to move like so. Now we're going to do Okinawa. The withdrawal would have made it go up. Okay, so it's 7 plus 5 is 12. That's a south move for Okinawa. So 1 infantry and 2 planes. So let's even for infantry. Oh no, I'm sorry. Since there's 2 planes here, the infantry for sure moves, and then just one of the planes is going to move. And which one? This one would have been even. That's odd. I rolled even, so this is moving. And we're done. So now we're going to do East Asia. And this is a 0. 9 plus 5, 14. They're going to join a battle. Well, we happen to have 1, 2, 3 battles. So 3, 6, 9. 8. So 3, 6. Oh gosh, they're going. So Carrier Fleet 1 is joining the Hawaii battle. Oh my gosh. And the infantry is coming with them because they don't have to defend East Asia. So he's going to be on a transport. So they're bringing an infantry with them on a transport, which that means now more infantry is going to come because of the stupid rule for Hawaii. So they're keeping the pressure up. I'm in trouble. Now, obviously, a carrier fleet might be vulnerable because we kept all of our stuff behind. But can you imagine if I went all in here and then they did that? Oh my gosh, we would have lost Hawaii and then maybe had a moral victory over here, but that would have been about it. Okay, so this is still a 0. And now we're doing the Japan forces. So I'm rolling for those. That is a 10 plus 5, 15. So we're on reinforce. So they're going to go to an objective with Japanese forces ashore. So they're going to reinforce an objective. So the only objectives, well, actually there's 3. All 3 of them are in battle right now. So 3, 6, 9 again. 7. So 3, 6. Oh no! Just knocked off this. So the Surface Fleet number 2 is coming to join them, and an infantry comes with them. So it's going to be a battalion, and then 3 land-based aircraft. And since they're on the land, they come. So we're going to grab 3 land-based aircraft, and they are joining the Hawaiian forces. We're getting smoked. Okay, so now we're going to roll for the Battleship Fleet number 1. I rolled an 8 plus a 5. It's 13. So they're going east, 1 closer to Hawaii. So they will move here, and they will take with them 2 planes. Actually, let's just, because I took from the other pile, I'll finish that. So those 2 planes come with them. Now we're doing Carrier Fleet 4. I rolled a 7 plus 5 is 12. They're going south, 1 closer to Australia. That means they're going to Okinawa, and they bring 2 planes with them. And then the next one is a 4 plus 5 is 9. They're withdrawing, but that becomes a hold, which means this now becomes a plus 10. And Carrier Fleet 5 is staying, and so are all those planes. So now we're just rolling for these final 2 fleets. I rolled a 2 plus 10 is 12. They're going south, so they would go there. And then a 6 plus 10 is 16. They're going to reinforce, and then we're going to do the 3, 6, 9 again. And I rolled a 5. So Surface Fleet 3 is joining those guys there. And because it's a reinforce, we're going to grab, they're going to have a battalion like so. Oh boy. Japan is bringing the heat this time. So, I'm nervous. I don't think I'm going to win either of these battles. Well, this one was just a desperate submarine go after the carrier thing. So I'm definitely not going to win this one. The Hawaii one, I'm very nervous. I'm not even going to win. But that's why you play the game, right? So as far as battles go, there's only 3 on the board. So we're good there. They actually left Japan this time. And, somebody commented that, because they did watch my first playthrough, which is now deleted, so you guys can't see that. I dominated in that one. And somebody commented that they thought that my die rolls were just really good when I was doing orders. And I think they're right, because this time around, Japan is actually being a lot more aggressive this time around, and it's showing. We're struggling. All right, so let's do the easy battle first. New Caledonia, and the rules for New Caledonia is that they're going to get an extra battalion, and their resupply counter goes up by 1. So the resupply counter will be 13 now. And let's try to do this. So battalion starts in the foxhole. Then they get a full strength battalion also in the foxhole. And we have a transport trying to land and a cruiser to try to ruin their day. And that's it. So I just need a more than 1 battle turn. I need 2 or 3 to be able to pull this off. And I only get 1 battle turn. So I'm very upset about this. I can't take artillery because there's, on the first battle turn, infantry aren't going to be on shore. So I have to do the thing that increases the battle turn by 1, so that uses up all my battle plan points. I was hoping to use battle plan points that if I get a hit with this guy, he does 2 hits. And if I have an artillery, the artillery would do an automatic hit. That would have actually won the battle for me, that right there. But because there's not enough turns in the battle, I have to increase the turn count by 1. And yeah, not very happy about that. Now the number of Japanese planes is going to be 1. So let's draw. And just can't attack the ocean, no big deal. So we get to skip ahead a bit, and we're just going to roll for our cruiser. He hits with a 3. I rolled a 10, so that's a miss. And then their infantry doesn't even get to attack anybody because there's nobody to attack. So we land on the beach, and that means we don't get to attack anything. And now we're down to 1 turn left. So again, our cruiser is going to attack. I rolled a 1. I'm going to pick up the camera and show you. So we do hit, and we hit a 0 and a 0, but we kill off that battalion, but they replaced it with another one. And from an infantry attack, they get to roll, and they would have hit with a 1, and we're done. Now the U.S., or not the U.S., but the Australian force is going to at least be there to contend with them, but we didn't take New Caledonia. I don't think we're going to take Hawaii, so I don't think it matters, but it sucks. There's nothing I can say about that. So now let's do the other battle, which is a little more interesting. This one is the Gilbert Islands. So Gilbert Islands has some rules that says if the U.S. never held the island, we did hold the island. So these 2 little sub-bullets don't apply anymore. So there's no special rules for Gilbert Islands at all. So I'm going to just leave the New Caledonia island on. And really what's happening is we got 3 subgroups that's going to go after their carriers. And I'm going to just look at their surface fleet cards. And So that's Carrier Fleet 3, Surface Fleet 3, and Surface Fleet 1. So Carrier Fleet 3, I'm just going to bring over the entire card, is this. Surface Fleet 3 is this. And since they moved here, this infantry is going to land onto the island. And Surface Fleet 1 is this. And I'm going to put all of these infantry on the island as well. So basically, they just bolstered up Gilbert Islands big time. And it's almost as bad as Hawaii right now. So the whole point of this is that when you're looking at the battle steps, the only thing that matters is torpedoes and depth charges. So that's why I'm not setting it up. But we still need to figure out the number of battle turns. We still need to create battle plans and go from there. So let's roll for battle turns. I rolled a 1, so there's only going to be 1 battle turn. Jesus. So for the battle plans, I'm not sure I want to increase the number of turns. Because what I wanted to do, here's what I really wanted to do, is we actually have, you get to re-roll a torpedo attack, right? But that's all I have to help my, my stuff. So I guess I will spend the 3 points to increase the turns to 2. Okay, so if you look at all the stuff that's going on here, the only thing that matters is we're going to do torpedoes and depth charges. And since there's 3 subs, there's going to be 3 depth charge rolls. That's what it's going to boil down to. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then if I count the infantry, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They have 17, so they're going to get 4 battle plans. So I may not have wanted to increase the number of turns. This might not work out too well for me. Whoa, whoa, oh! There went my camera. Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed the view of my ceiling or my nose hairs. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so first one is first light. Second one is duration. Oh, they're going to increase the battle duration by 1. No attacks in the Japan Ocean, which is where I'm at. So this whole turn is nothing because there's no attacks in the Japan Ocean. That's where my submarines were. So then they're going to increase the battle duration by 1. So now we still have 2 battle turns left. So let's keep going. So first one, carrier attack, first light, place a battalion on the island as if they needed it. And then I drew a kamikaze, which means I have to draw another one. And artillery. So none of those help them. Well, the battalion one does, so I'm adding yet another troop for them. In fact, there was a transport as well, so I had to unload that on there. Their Gilbert Islands is really piling up. So I'm just going to throw all these back in the box. So now we finally get to do our round. And yes, I have 3 dice. I'm going to roll 3 times, 2 or less hits. And what it does is it hits all the ships that are in the ocean. So just to be clear, you still have to divide them up. So the carriers are all in the ocean. So ocean, 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 right? 4 of them. Then we're going to choose 1 to escort them. And then 1 is going to be on the coast. And then 1 to escort them. And then 1 is on the coast. Does that make sense? So that's how it's going to look. So the only things that the submarines can hit are these 6 ships. These 2 are not eligible unless the submarines were actually on the coast. Now, they have a submarine group themselves, but submarines can't attack other submarines, okay? So all I'm able to hit are these 6 ships, and when they roll depth charges, I'm choosing from these 6 ships. So really, this battleship is out, and this cruiser is out, because they're on the coast supporting the troops. All right, so I'm going to roll 3 dice, and all 3 missed. So now they're going to roll 3. 2 of them are a 2 and 1's a 1. The blue die will be the 1. And of course they rolled a 2. So one of our subs took a hit. That's not good. So now we go down to 1 turn. We're going to draw some battle plans. So first light, carriers attack, ship combat, infantry combat. So there's only 1 chip, I think, in this entire cup that it like boosts their depth charge roll. So that's the only thing I think that would hurt us. But now we're going to roll 3 dice. But one of our subs is injured, so this one's going to be the 1. The other ones are 2s. And we did. We got a hit with a 2. So what that did is that we have to go after the lowest bracket. So we get to take any of these carriers out. And we're going to go after the full-size carrier. So the Zuikaku is now going to take a damage. But he still gets to fire back at full strength. So again, 2, 2, 1. And they got a 1. So I'm going to choose to just damage the other sub instead of having it be destroyed. And the battle's over. So we took 2 damage, and we only damaged 1 of theirs. I don't know if we came out ahead on that. But what it does do is when they do their repair step, this is going to leave the fleet and actually go back into the reinforcement pool. So this carrier fleet's going to be short 1 full-size carrier. That's the advantage of what we did, but it was a desperation shot anyways. Let's go ahead and put these back. 1, 3, and 3. Okay, so that was sort of fun. This is going to cost us 2 more supply points. Okay, now we're going to do the mega meat. Hawaii. So let's get the troops out. So their battalions are insane. Well, they have a plane and a plane and another plane and then a bunch of battalions. More than you can count. You can count that high. They have a transport with more battalions, and per the rule, we add 3 more. So if you don't kill at least 3 battalions every time you have this battle, they're growing instead of shrinking. You have to kill 3 just to break even. So this is an insane number. We're in such a bad shape, it's not even funny. We have our own transport here. We have a carrier, another carrier, and a 3rd carrier. And I think we're going to have destroyers escort each one, like so. Okay? And then the cruisers are all going to pile up here because we need to do damage to these freaking islands. We do have some planes. A lot of them, in fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes, which means we have a size 6 airfield. Okay, and they have 3 planes, which means they have a size 3 airfield. All right, and then we got to get Surface Fleet 2 and Carrier Fleet 1 out. So Surface Fleet 2 has 2 more infantry they're adding to the transports. Carrier Fleet, oh, I'm sorry, nope, that's Carrier Fleet 2. Surface Fleet 2, oh, they have 2 as well. So 2 from Surface Fleet 2, and then Carrier Fleet 1 also has 2 more, so the stack of doom gets even bigger. And 1, 2, 3. The lesson learned here is don't lose midway. All right, so they have a cruiser, and a destroyer. That's Surface Fleet 2. And then Carrier Fleet has the Hio carrier, a destroyer, another carrier, the Ryujo, and a cruiser. Okay, so now where do they place their stuff? Well, first of all, their highest anti-air is going to go up top. So, and then the highest naval is going to go on the island. So their anti-air is the same for all of them. And so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, starting from the top to the bottom. So I rolled a 10, so the destroyer group goes up, and that's what I would have chosen. So then the highest ground, or naval, goes to the bottom, and these are both the same value, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to pick one. So they're going to go there, and now we're doing the highest anti-air, so we're going to go 3, 6, 9. I rolled a 3, so this one's going up, and then this one goes here, and then this one goes up. So that's how that looks. So yes, it is always the carrier first, and they will put more ships to protect the carrier than the land. So that's our situation. This is a massive battle. Okay, so the light carrier Ryujo is going to have a 0, which are amazing. The zeros are super powerful in this. And a D3A. So for the light carrier, they're going to have this group. And I know I'm trying to get it all in, and let's zoom in so you can see it's going to have, that's the light carrier, Ryujo. So now we have a full carrier, the Hio. So it's going to get a 0, a torpedo, and a dive bomber. The dive bombers, I think, are the Bettys, aren't they? So 1, 2, 3, like that. All right, so 2 bomber groups for them. And then they have down here, this is a bomber group. This is also a bomber group. I mean, well, it's the same bomber group. And this is a fighter. So they actually have 3 bomber groups. And then they have 3 fighter groups. Now, we can send our bombers and fighters however we want, but we have 3 full-size carriers here. So we get 1, 2, 3 Wildcats. Nope, I'm grabbing the wrong ones. Those are 1943. Those are the Hellcats. We have 3 Wildcats. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going to have 6 dive bombers. So we're not going to be a bunch of chumps here. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to have 3 torpedo bombers. And then 3 more dive bombers. 1, 2. My tray is almost empty. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so here's what I'm hoping for. In order for us to really just dominate this battle, it would be nice if we can hit their carriers this first round. So what do we need? We need a lot of battle turns. We need that probably more than anything else. We also would be very beneficial if we can sink that destroyer or that transport. But in order to do that, I need to apply 5 hits. So I have 2 hits here, 2 hits here, and then I would need 2 more. So 6 hits total to sink that transport. And I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships here to pull that off. So I'm going to have to send some bombers to try to sink those transports and cruisers, which means then I'm not going after their carriers. So that's part of my dilemma. And the transport needs to be sunk this turn, or otherwise they land on the beach. If I don't do that, then I'm accepting the fact that they're going to land on the beach, and then the other way to do it is let's get rid of the carriers, which removes all of their planes, and then we, target, going after the island. I'm not sure that's as good of a strategy, but we get to see some information first. The first information we're going to get to see is, first of all, they're going to get to draw 4 battle plans. I don't even need to count them. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they're going to draw 4 battle plans. They have more than 17 troops here. The next part is how many battle turns is there going to be? And if we roll really high, I think that favors us and not them. So let's see what we get. I rolled an 8, which is good. I mean, a 9 or a 10 would have been fantastic, but 3 battle turns is good. So now I can either spend 3 more points to make it into 4 battle turns, which is tempting, to be quite honest, because I still think that we have the advantage. The longer we last, the more we can pummel them. Because I really do think we can take out those carriers and then take out their planes as a result. All their ships that are sitting in the ocean are useless to them, and then we can focus all of our attention on the island and pummel them into submission. The other thing, though, is I think we're going to have to, and this is where somebody would say, I told you so, you should have kept some supply points for this battle. And they're right, because it would have been nice to get extra battle plan points right now. Then I could have done both, right? For 1 supply point, I could have added another turn and done the things I want to do. So what I want to do is I want to get an extra hit for surface attack. I'm banking on the fact that my cruisers are going to hit something. And when they do, they're going to sink it in 1 hit. Because remember, I need to get that transport destroyed. So that's 1. Then there's no submarines involved on either side. I really could take my destroyers and put them onto the coast. I don't have to keep them with our carriers. I'm just worried that if they send planes to attack, I want the extra anti-aircraft rolls. Well, I almost lost it again. This one, a dogfight does 1 extra hit, is neat. I might do that. This one would be helpful, but they have so many infantry, it doesn't even matter. So the only reason why I'm maybe not increasing this by 1 turn is that I'm attracted to the idea of doing 2 hits. But I'm actually going to take this back. I'm going to increase the battle by 1 turn. I think that I have so many forces in this battle that it's beneficial to me to get an extra turn. And I'm going to get more hits that way than I will by using these to get extra hits. So I'm going to increase it to 4. So first turn, I'm going to ignore their carriers. I'm going to go after that transport ship, because if that transport ship unloads, it makes my world harder. So I'm going to go after the transport ships and with my bombers. And I think I'm going to just go after it with all of my bombers. And so if I can take those ships out with just my planes, then my cruisers, when they hit, we're going to hit the land targets, which is going to reduce their airfield and all that stuff. So then after that, if I have any bombers that survive this, then I'm going to flip them to go after the carriers. That would be the next goal. But here's the other thing too. Well, actually, no, because the torpedo bombers get, the transport's a sea target. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And now it sucks though, because the carrier fleet is going to be allowed to linger, and the planes that are on those carriers are going to be allowed to keep harassing us. But I don't think we get a choice. I mean, I want to take Hawaii, and if I let that stack land, that's going to make my task impossible. And so I got to get rid of that big stack of troops. I mean, that stack, I hope you'll agree with me, is just as big as what's already on the island. So I got to prevent the invasion forces. Then after that, we'll go after their carriers. Carriers are actually secondary right now. That's straight from Nimitz. So make it so. Okay, so first thing we do is we draw their battle plans, which this might actually impact things. They're drawing 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then one other one came out. So what do we got here? Stop 1 hit on a carrier. I get to see this before I decide what I'm doing. So this is even better, but they do get to save it. So it's not like this one, +4 on torpedo and depth roll charges. So this is a useless one. This one, they're gonna do a pre-attack on our carrier group. And this one, +1 on all rolls. Fudge. Okay. That was not good. That's not good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that this first light thing, pre-attack for 1 carrier group, they're gonna roll a 10 basically. I think we actually resolved the attack now, and I'm not even sure. Let me look it up. I draw this one a lot, but I rarely draw it when there's actually a carrier. Japanese aircraft carrier with the most aircraft immediately performs air attacks. The group automatically receives an area roll of 10. Hits that damage a U.S. aircraft carrier will eliminate the aircraft on the carrier before the aircraft can even be moved for the turn. Hits that damage airfields take effect on aircraft before they can attack for the turn. The group does not suffer U.S. dogfight attacks, but it does suffer anti-aircraft attacks as normal. After the first light action, proceed normally for the rest of the Japanese and U.S. aircraft. And so it did specify that it's the largest carrier. So that means these 3 aircraft here. Oh, hold on a second. Is it the fighter too? I'm going to assume yes, it's the fighter too. So this is what's happening. These 3 are attacking our carriers. And you can see here that there's a torpedo bomber that's going to roll a 6, which is deadly. And even the 4 is pretty deadly. And then this guy is just going to absorb hits. And he has a lower bracket value, so I have to do 3 hits before I can even hit one of these. But here's the really good news for us. These 3 get to attack with their values, and we have a 4-2, a 4-2, and a 2-1. And remember the rule that when you're dealing with carriers, there's 2 rows. You have an escort row. So since there's 3 planes, we get to do 3 anti-air attacks for each row. So all 3 of these ships are shooting, and all 3 of those ships are shooting. So we are going to get a lot of rolls in, and we just got to pray. Absolutely pray that we can hit these. Because if any of these take damage, then the planes that are on them are eliminated from the battle. And that's devastating to us. That ruins all of our plans, to be quite honest. So everything is banking on this freaking die roll. So I'm gonna roll 3 dice, 3, 3, 3. And remember, we just count our hits right now. And then once we get our total count of hits, then we apply them. So the 3 destroyers. 3, 3, 3. Those are, what, 30% chance each. So I have a 90% chance one of these is going to hit. And they all miss. So we're doing bad. So this is the 4-2, this is the 4-2, and this is the 2-1. Okay? If I can roll a 2 or less for all 3 of these dice, that's 6 hits. That's asking a lot. But let's roll 2s or lesses. The blue die is the 2-1. And I rolled a 3 and a 3. And that's not going to make it for... All that did was 2 hits. And the 2 hits destroys their 0. That's all it did. Destroying their 0 is actually good, because now their 0 isn't going to hit our bombers. But we have to pray that these miss now. And that's a big prayer, folks, with a 6 there. I mean, remember all those times I was rolling 10s? I really need it now. So let's roll for the 6. I rolled a 1. Let's roll for the 4. I rolled a 10 there. Okay, so the 1 hits. So one of our carriers gets damaged, and I'm going to be thematic here. The Yorktown will take the damage. Well, no, we're going to damage the Lexington. He's weaker. So we're going to damage the Lexington. We get to choose because it's a bracket thing. But the problem is one of these, and two of those are immediately out of the battle. So that was the part that was deadly from their perspective. The first light attack, they really nailed us. Now these two will not participate for the rest of the battle turn because they've already gone. And now it's our turn. And I forgot to mention, they get a +1 on all their rolls. So they would have hit with a 7 instead of a 6. So that's even worse, to be quite honest. All right, so I'm still going all in after the transport. That's still, I mean, their carriers are annoying, but I got to go all in after transport. So everything you see here is going after the coastal, including my fighters, because they need to defend there. Now, however, my land units, this one is going after the land because it makes no sense to go after the ships. These two will go after the coastal, and this one will go after coastal because it's a fighter, and this one's going after land. So I have 3 bombers that have no fighter escorts that are going to go after land. So let's roll for the bomber group for the carriers. I rolled a 5. So that carrier bomber group, this one, is going after land. So I'm going to put it here. Okay. Now the bomber group on the island, I rolled a 1, which means they're also going after the land. So they're staying. And now the fighter group with the carrier, I rolled a 4. They're coming to the land, which is bad for our bombers. And then the fighter group on the island, I rolled a 5. Everybody's on land. So they're not doing anything to interfere with our bombers and fighters that are going against the transport. So now we do dogfight. There's no dogfight on our part because we have nothing we're up against. However, on their part, they have 2 dogfights. They have a 6-3 and an 8-4. So this will be the 6-3 and this is the 8-4. So the 3 is 2 hits and the 4 is 2 hits. So they just destroyed 2 of our bombers. I don't think it matters which 2, so we're just going to destroy those because they did 4 hits to us. Okay, so now we get to, anti-aircraft happens. So they have 2 anti-aircraft here. So we're going to roll 2 dice, 2's hit. Actually, 3 hits. And they got 2 hits on us. So that sucks. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take out one of our Wildcats. So they got 2 hits on us. And now we get to go in for the kill. So we do the bomb runs, but let's do theirs first. They have 1, 2, 3 4s. 4 4s. There's a 4th one here that's going against our island. So here's 3 of them. That's 1 hit. Just 1 hit. So that 1 hit, though, is against our airfield, so we're down to 5. We just lost 2 bombers, so that's not a big deal. Okay, and their bombing runs are done. So now our bombing run, we have a 1, 2 3s, and 4 4s. So let's roll for the 1 and the 2 3s, okay? That one was the 1, so it doesn't hit. So everything missed. And now we're doing 4 4s. That's 2 hits. And here's the last one. That's 3 hits. That was really good, but I needed more because we didn't get the transport. So these 2, this gets destroyed. We just sank a cruiser. And this one gets damaged. So that's our situation. And we're done with the planes. No, we're not done with the planes. I actually have 2 more. These 2 here. they were also attacking the water. So I have 2 3s to roll. So let's see if we can get another hit in. That means the transport would be all that's left. I missed with both. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we do depth torpedoes, depth charges, then naval guns. So their cruiser attacks with a 2. Let's do theirs first. They missed. And then we have 1, 2, 3 4s, 4, 5. 5 4s. Gosh darn it, we better hit with these. 5 4s. Here's 3 of them. There's 1 hit, 2 misses, and then 2 more. Oh my gosh, only 1 of them hit. Oh, I am so upset. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. We sank the cruiser, but this transport just landed everything. Went completely undamaged. Okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battalions here. 1, 2, 3, 4 battalions there. So 9 dice is rolling to damage our airfields. Here's 3. Oh my gosh, I rolled 2 1s. That's 2 hits. 6, 9. So they did 2 hits to us, so this field is destroyed, and this goes down to 3. So Infantry Advance, we already did the Japanese one. So our planes try to land, and this plane, one of these planes has to be destroyed because there's nothing to do. So the B-17 is going to be destroyed. They're cheaper to build. That's the only reason why I picked that one. And we're down to 3. They did not take any damage. All of our planes land. All of their planes land. And now they have massive amount of forces. We are absolutely not going to win this. And they're keeping their screening ship to protect their carrier. And I'm going to draw 3 more battle plans for them. And I did forget that they get to add +1 to all their attack rolls, so it's possible I missed a hit here or there. My apologies. That's one kind of thing I always forget to do. So no attacks in the Japanese Ocean. So their carrier is protected again. No attacks in the Japanese Ocean, because they really wanted to emphasize that. And all bombers for the carriers are going after our carriers. So, so their bombers, these 2 and this one, are all coming after our carriers. So 1, 2, 3. Now our Lexington is still alive. It just doesn't have any planes to launch. So what are we doing now? We get to move our aircraft first. So I'm going to for sure put my Wildcat in the area to dogfight and protect our carriers. So that's happening without a doubt. This particular fighter is going to attack the island to protect, and these guys are going to bomb the island. Okay, so all 3 of those are helping out with the island. And then I'm not allowed to attack their carrier group. So everybody's going after the island, everything. All of these. So that's the situation. They don't have any ships left in the coast, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we're just rolling for their fighter. So, well, this bomber group here first. I rolled a 5, which is the island. Then this fighter group, 4 is the island, and that fighter group, I just knocked down a whole bunch of stuff, and it's going to be the island as well. So they're going to dogfight over the island, which is not good for us because we have a lot of bombers and stuff going there. But it is what it is. And I'm almost to the point where I think I'm going to maybe call it. I mean, I guess we technically are still winning objective-wise, but this is tough. Okay, so first off, dogfights. let's start with them. They have an 8-4, 6-3. This will be the 8-4. The blue will be the 6-3. And this is a 6 for the 8-4. And this is a 6 for the 6-3. So they just did 2 hits to us. And it has to hit like something like our torpedo bomber. Okay? So I'm going to just do both of them and lose the torpedo bomber. Like so. Because our torpedo bomber had a bracket of 1. So that's how the hits get applied. Now for us, we have a 3-2 here. So it's a tough roll, but let's see if we can do it. I rolled a 2. So 2 means we get to do 2 hits to them. And that means their 0 is gone. Okay. Now over here in the carriers, we have a 5-3. So let's roll for that. And let's move the camera so I can roll somewhere where I'm not knocking stuff over. I rolled a 1, so that's 2 hits on them, and I get to pick, and I'm going to choose the torpedo guy and take out their torpedo bomber. Very excited about that. So the Wildcat did his job. Okay, so next thing we do is anti-air. So over the island, there's no anti-air, so we don't have to worry about that. But here, all 6 ships get to roll again, because, well, actually, there's only 2 planes. So it's going to be these 2. And these 2, I get to choose. So I'm going to roll 2 3s and 2 4-2s. So let's roll the 2 3s first. I rolled a 1. So that's 1 hit. And then the 4-2s, I rolled a 1. That's 2 hits. That's 3 hits on these guys. So one of these is completely destroyed. And then the other one is damaged. And so now he's going to do a bombing run with a 2. And so let's go ahead and try that. I rolled a 6, so he misses, which is good. Very, very good. And yeah, he's going to eventually return back to his carrier damaged. And from a carrier perspective, their carriers only have that 1 damaged bomber, and that's it. So we've sort of neutralized their carriers' capacity to participate in this war. But we still have to do bombing for them. So they have 3 land values of 4. So let's roll those. There's a 1. So they do a hit. We can hit our infantry that we have back here, or we can hit the airfield. Since our plane survived, I'm going to hit the infantry. So I'm now going to roll for my bombers, which is 3 3s. And you can see I hit with a 2. So we hit them, and their battalions are all 0. So their battalions are going to absorb everything, and their airfield's going to enjoy staying safe the entire time. So 1 battalion damaged, and now we're going to, oh, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 more 3s and a 2. So here's 3 of the 3s. All misses, and then 1 more 3. Miss, and then the 2, also a miss. So all of our bombers missed. So now we're going to do the naval attack. So we have 4 cruisers, 5. So 5 of them with a value of 4. There's 2 hits. 3 4 hits we're going to do. So 4 hits is going to kill 1 battalion. Then the 3rd hit is going to kill this battalion and damage another. So I'm just going to take 2 battalions away. So all this effort, and we've only killed 2 battalions, and they just added like 6 to 8. I'm not winning this. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, well, we should go after the carriers maybe, and then at least get a moral victory. But if I can't take Hawaii back every turn, I mean, I'm just getting slaughtered from a supply perspective and everything else. Okay, the infantry advance. So our infantry is now in the foxhole, so we can participate in the battle, and so is all theirs. And but before we do that, infantry attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them get to roll 1, 3, and 1 of them hits. And so this is where it gets tough, but I'm going to eliminate our infantry. So, because I need to keep our planes. Now we go down to 2 turns left. Our carriers are mostly safe now. I'm not too concerned about that one bomber they have. They get to draw battle plans. They get to save this, which means I don't know if I want to go after their carriers because they get to stop a hit anyways. So we're gonna, I did reduce the number of troops they have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, they got plenty. Here's 3 more. They get to stop a hit. No attack in the ocean, so they answered my dilemma for me. And all bombers roll 10 again. So, for the carrier. So we get to move our aircraft. I'm going to let their bomber come after our carriers. I'm going all in for the island. Everything I have is going after the island. I have to. We gotta make a dent here. So this bomber is going after our carriers. And then I'm just going to roll for the bombers they have on land. I rolled a 1, so they're staying on the land. And then this fighter group, I rolled a 1 as well. He's staying on the land. Okay, so let's do Dogfight. So I have a 5-3 and a 3-2, and he has a 6-3. Let's roll for him. I rolled a 1, so he just did 2 hits to us. It's going to have to hit a bracket of 1. So like, for example, I can take out my torpedo bomber here, and I'm going to do that. So now I'm going to roll a 5-3 and a 3-2. The 3-2 is going to be the blue one. And both of them missed, so that blows. Okay, after Dogfight, we do bomb runs. So, I'm sorry, we do anti-aircraft. So that would be down here. So I get to roll a 3 and a 4-2. This will be the 4-2. And I rolled a 2 and 2, so we annihilated this thing. So all the carrier planes are destroyed for the Japanese. So that part's good. The rest of it, not so much. So yes, our carriers are safe. So now we do the bomb run. So they get 3 rolls of 4. And 6, 9, and 8, they missed with all 3. And then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rolls of 3 and 1 roll of 2. Okay, so 7 rolls of 3. There's 1 hit. That was 3, 6. Those are all misses. And 7, miss. And then 1 roll of 2, miss. Oh my gosh, only 1 hit. So this battalion is gone. Then we do the naval guns. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls of 4. All misses. All misses. Oh, and they get to stop a hit. So that battalion comes back. That's even worse. That's like rubbing salt on a wound. And then everybody moved forward. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to have to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and anytime they roll 1, it's a hit. First time, there's a hit. There's 2 hits. Three hits. 3 hits. Our airfield's destroyed. All 3 of our planes are lost. So they overran the airfield. And now all we have left is our carriers. We're down to 1 final turn. And they're stopping a hit, and they get a successful artillery attack. They get a +3/+2 on dogfight rolls, which makes it even worse. They could theoretically still go after our carriers. So I'm looking ahead and I'm seeing that I only have a very tiny fleet here. And I think because I wasn't able to take Hawaii, they're now going to be in complete control of Hawaii. Coming up, I'm calling it. I lost the campaign. This is crazy. I smoked. I mean, we did 1942 last time, and I think somebody pointed out a rule mistake I made, but I had all but one of the objectives with the rule mistake. I had all the objectives with the way I understood the game. I lost Hawaii. I'm not going to get it back, and it's too many forces. So I'm going to call it, and then maybe we'll start another one. But you at least get a feel for the game. And one of the things with solitaire games is that it should kick your butt sometimes, or otherwise it's not a fun solitaire game. So Fleet Commander Nimitz. I know I stressed this a lot with my first playthrough. I understand it's deleted now, but I was complaining because you could sort of control the AI a little better last time. The fact that they can zip around and go straight to Midway or Hawaii like this is actually pretty good, because it sort of like responds to the feedback that people had about the AI the last time. That's a new thing with this upgrade kit, the fact that they can go straight for Midway like this. So it worked. I didn't defend. Really the trick was is you need to defend Midway so they never get to Hawaii. That's the trick. You don't want them ever coming to Hawaii. And I didn't do a good job of that. So I don't see myself winning this. I think they got way too many forces. I know I got one more round. I mean, we could play this out and see how this goes, but I just don't see myself winning this. And so they get to stop a hit, which sucks, but all my planes are going after the island. Their bomber group is going after our carriers. So they're gonna come up here. And then their fighter group is going after the island. So from a dogfight perspective, they roll a 6-3. I rolled a 6, so they hit, and so our Wildcat's going to take damage. And then our Wildcat rolls a 5-3. I rolled a 5, so we at least hit their fighter and reduce theirs, which is good. And then after that, we do anti-air. So I'm going to do these two sides. So I'm going to roll for the 2 3s. Both misses, and I'm going to roll for the 4 2s. Both misses. So now they get through, and they both can roll 4 to hit. And they hit, so what that means is that another one of our carriers takes damage, or I sink the Lexington. Sinking the Lexington is the worst possible option, so the Yorktown's going to take a hit now. And so then we're going to lose the planes from that, which I'm looking at it. Yeah, we're going to lose 2 dive bombers because of it. So now our dive bombers get to roll 4 3s. And all 3 of those are a hit and a miss. So they block one of the hits. So they do 2 hits. So I'm going to just kill a battalion. And then 2 of our dive bombers are going to get destroyed later, but I'll do it now. And their little fighter here gets the bomb at a 2. Oh, there's nothing to hit. Never mind. The island is clear of U.S. forces. So then we do the Naval Attack. So I get to roll 5 dice at a 4. That's 1 hit. That's 2 hits. 2 hits. So I killed another battalion. I mean, we're making some progress, but that's with 3 carriers and all this other stuff. I mean, just not going to happen. They're winning. And because we don't have supply to any of our troops, I'm going to be spending all my supply points just keeping them alive. And yeah, I'm done. I am going to get 2 new infantry to try to reinvade Japan or Hawaii. I'm not even going to get my ships yet for another 2 turns. Yeah, I didn't do a good job of defending Midway. It was my mistake. Or even a good job of defending Hawaii, I guess, whenever that happened. My mistake, for sure. So I'm calling it, and I thank you so much for watching. And I'm very pleased, actually. I got my butt kicked. Solitaire games where I win all the time is not always fun. Hornet Leader is one of those ones where I think I can win almost every time, but the dice really can still get you in that one. But there is sort of like a formula that once you figure it out, you get pretty good. Skies Above the Reich, still one of my favorite solitaire games. I can usually win that one as well. But again, the dice can, or the card draws in that case, can still go against you. I think I like this game more now that it's kicked my butt. So anyways, I have a very strong feeling you're going to see this come to the table again, probably within the next couple days. So I'm going to take a break, though, for a couple hours and recover from my loss. And, of course, the setting up of this game is painful. So going through all this stuff to reset it up, that's the part that'll take me a while. But, yeah, we might take another go at it. One final comment. I know somebody mentioned that they saw my Tiger Leader upgrade kit, which came with this Kickstarter. I do have Tiger Leader. And, yeah, I can get that one out sometime. I've never covered Tiger Leader or Sherman Leader. My perspective, they're both the exact same game. It's just which side do you want to play on. I would recommend that if you want to buy one, just buy whichever side you want to root for victory the most. The Tiger Leader's only, I mean, obviously nobody wants to be a Nazi, but, or if you do, shame on you. The big thing is it's fun to play the Germans because they really did have great equipment, and if they, I don't know, they had a chance. And so being the underdog is always fun in a solitaire game. My gripe with Tiger Leader, and I gave this to Dan Verson, and he agreed with me, and he like confessed that it was an issue, is that all the tigers are gone. After the upgrade kit, they got rid of all the tigers. There's only like 1 tiger in the whole freaking game. And I said, what's the point of calling it a Tiger Leader if there's no tigers? I don't know if this expansion added some more back in. I hope it did. But that always bothered me about that game. But yes, I can definitely do that. I mean, obviously I bought the upgrade, bought the new Kickstarter expansion. So it probably would be nice to get that out. So Tiger Leader's 1, and then Thunderbolt Apache Leader I have as well. And I got the upgrade stuff for that. To be quite honest, Thunderbolt Apache Leader and Tiger Leader are very similar. Once you learn how to play one, you'll know how to play the other one, like 90% of the rules. The thing with Thunderbolt is it's got this really cool mechanic about moving between mountains, you know, to protect yourself from anti-air missiles. That is a fantastic mechanic. And I tend to like Thunderbolt more than Tiger and Sherman for that reason. I rank it just a notch higher. Tiger and Sherman, like I said, are both the same, and I do own both of them. I don't know if I need to be quite honest. I love DVG games, but I don't think I need to. And I feel the same way about Warfighter. I have the original Warfighter, the modern Warfighter, and the World War II. I feel like they're redundant. I don't think I need to own both. So now, which one do I like more? I like the modern one more. I think snipers and being able to be sneaky in the modern game is a load of fun. Absolute fun. I know they have that in the World War II. I know the World War II adds the things like range and mountains and hills. The World War II has a lot of new cool features, but I still like the modern one the most. I think it's just a thematic thing for me. I have so many World War II games, and that might be the other reason, is I don't need another one. So anyways, I'd probably trade away my World War II, and I would probably trade away Sherman or Tiger at some point. But right now I own them all, and I'm not that aggressive about getting rid of them. I like them all. Okay, anyways, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, and I wasn't so awesome in this one. I actually sank a lot of Japanese ships this time, and they only sank, what, one of ours? But they held the objectives. That's my issue. Anyways, we'll see ya.